So, Chrono Odyssey. I got access to the beta recently, and I have my thoughts to share. Ugh, so many things I want to complain, but I know, people are gonna say, oh, but it's a beta version. Of course, it's not good or whatever. Okay, I just saw some errors, so to speak, some mistakes from the development team, I suppose, and I just want to talk about them because this is just yet another game that keeps giving Unreal Engine a bad name, and it really infuriates me because I use the engine, and let me tell you right here, right now, the engine has a lot of bugs, alright? There's still a lot to be done, and unfortunately, there's not a lot that is being done. That's the reality, yes. Now, that is not to say that the whole engine is bad, or any engine is horrible, awful, terrible, whatever you want to name it, just because a few games come out from whatever engine it is. Doesn't necessarily need to be Unreal. It doesn't make it bad. It's the games that are bad, or maybe they are using features from the engine that are not really fleshed out. Like, for example, Lumen illumination is awful. I try not to use it because it's just awful. It consumes a lot of resources. It's not well optimized. And I just hate the illumination that it gives. It's terrible. I can't see things properly in the dark because of it. I recorded some footage because my computer doesn't really run this game at all. I was at around 30 to 40 FPS. I had to lower all the graphics. My graphics card was about 70%. I don't know, like, this game is like, I don't care. Don't give me the excuse of beta. This game is terribly optimized. It's not optimized at all. I want to show at least like 2-3 things maybe. There is something here that is happening. I just hate it. I hate seeing this in games. I saw this a lot in Black Desert, and it's usually called pop off or pop out or whatever you want to call it. If you notice the grass, I think it's kind of hard to notice, but the grass here feels like it's popping off, you know? If you notice, like, I'm walking back and forward. And like this is terrible. Okay, this is terrible. I remember that the distance detail or whatever the name it was, the setting, it wasn't high. If you have it cinematic, it goes a little bit further. I think I have footage of that. But this is bad, and I'm not just gonna tell you that this is bad. I'm gonna show you an alternative to this, because this is just culling, and culling means that it's kinda the object or whatever asset it is. It's not rendered. It doesn't appear on your screen until you reach a certain range. It's relevant to the camera. Now, this is an Unreal Engine project. It's a template. It's a third-person template, and I really want to show you what I mean with culling. And I'm actually going to create a foliage here. To show you that I'm not kidding when I say that. I'm just gonna say random foliage, and I'm gonna make this some, like, maybe a cube, and I'm gonna give it some culling, and I'm gonna show you that this is as simple as A, B, and C. So I'm gonna put this here, and I'm actually going to the culling. Oh, actually, that's not here, right? I typed the search. I forgot this has no search function. Well, guess that's an issue. So I'm gonna say this is like, I'm gonna put it 1000. And I'm gonna place it a single one. Let's see if I can see. Okay, so this is culling. All right, this is culling. Basically, I have 1000 of distance, and this, I believe, is in centimeters, or I don't know, Unreal Engine's distance, whatever. When the camera, pay attention, it's the camera, was going to call the object. So I'm zooming in, zooming out with the scroll, which is like the camera movement. And I'm actually gonna playtest this with the character. I don't have a zoom in and zoom out, but whatever. So wherever the camera is, you can see that. As you can see, like, I'm turning the camera. I'm not moving the character. I'm turning the camera, and the object is popping in and popping out. And this is culling. Now, what's happening with this game, and this is, I suppose, where this is starting. This annoys me a little bit. I'm actually going to duplicate this to make it faster. I'm going to give it another object. Could be a cylinder. And I'm also going to place this one. So hold on just a second. I'm going to place this, and this is going to have a different culling. Now, what is happening with the game with Chrono Odyssey? is exactly this. So you have, oh, actually, okay, you see, I've already made a mistake. I've already made a mistake. How funny is that? Everyone makes mistakes, but hey, I'm not a professional. I think it's alright if I make a mistake or two. I forgot that since I duplicated, they have the same call distance. But that's okay, because now they don't. Alright, what's happening with Chrono Odyssey is exactly this. You see one object at a distance, and then another object pops off. And they're like, wait, what? Why is this happening? And this happens, I don't know, it's too random for me to understand, because I think they placed certain foliage has a certain culling, but whoever developed this game and whoever was in charge of doing this stuff, they either don't know or they didn't notice that placing two assets, close to each other with different culling, it's just bad. It's bad visuals. You don't do that. You don't do that. You have to be really careful with this. And to be even more precise, you don't even do culling in this manner, because this is just bad experience for the player. For the culling to be more or less acceptable, you'll have to place it like maybe 10,000, 20,000, 15,000. And even so, it might not be enough, because what you really have to do, like, it's okay if you cull something, but why are you culling so close to the screen a small foliage? Like, it just doesn't it just doesn't make any sense. Look at the high detail of the objects there. Look at them. And I'm going to talk about something else now, which is LOD, which stands for level of detail. And usually you have about 3 to 4 levels of detail, 0 to 3 to 4, or how many you have to have. I don't know if you can have more than that, but at the very least have 4, 0, 1, 2, 3 levels of detail, and the further you are away from it, the less detail it has, but you can't notice it. And that's the beauty of it. And you have to use this. You have to use it. And I swear that these trees don't have LODs. They do not have different level of details. I'm telling you, I can see reflections there. I could be wrong, but I really feel like they don't. And I'm actually also gonna show you that, because this is something you can literally add in the engine so easily that there is no way that you're not using it. No one can tell me that, hey, you know what, I'm not gonna use this because I don't know how to do it, or it's too complex. Like, no, it's a few clicks. So let's take a look at it. Sorry, I actually had to find myself a mesh for this, which is just a tree that I have in here. It has no texture, so please try to ignore that. That's not really the point of the video. But yeah, let's go a little bit back. So when I open this is just a static mesh, it's just something that it's on the level, you place it, and it just exists, okay? However, whenever you open the details of this, and we can clearly see here on the left, it says triangles 128,000. That's a lot. Whoa, that's a lot of triangles. Your computer has to process this. Now, maybe this isn't a lot, just one of these, but imagine there's like hundreds of trees in your map, like we have here in the game, we can see there's maybe a few dozen, not 100, but sure, there's plenty of them in here. And combining with textures and other stuff in the environment, of course it can bring down performance. That's just the reality of it. But let's go back here a little bit. And when I was talking about the LODs, the level of detail, it's basically this. So you have these LODs, and I'm actually gonna click here on the custom, and let's say you don't really care about how it looks further in the distance, because usually you have maybe 2 to 3 models of the same. So you have a static mesh, but then you have 2, 3 different, how do I explain this? They look a little bit different depending on the distance, depending on the lot that is using, because they have less polygons. They look less detailed. So that's basically how LODs work. More distance, less detail, so that it saves resources of the machine that the game is running on. Now, Unreal allows you to create automatically levels of detail, and you can even import your own. You can import your own levels of detail. I'm gonna type here 4, I'm gonna say apply changes, and this is going to automatically create a few more level of details for this specific object. Alright, the processing is done. Now, let's take a look at the top left corner here. It says load 0, okay? And I'm gonna step back a little bit with the camera. Immediately, you are just a little bit further away. It's already in load 1. And if you ever need to change the reduction settings or something, you can just come here and just change it. Have to click apply changes and stuff, but Unreal allows you to have some customization in the LODs, which is great. You have a lot of control of what you allow the player to see and what not. And if we go further back, it's gonna say LOD 2. And there we go, it says LOD 2. And if we go even further back, it's gonna say LOD 3. And it's gonna stay LOD 3 until we go back to the certain range thresholds that it has for each of the LODs. But this is how it works, okay? This is how you do game development. Like, you saw the foliage, like the grass was just popping off, was just popping on screen as you walk. And it's just a bad feeling. It's not seamless. They say this game was supposed to be seamless. And I'm gonna show you even a stutter. There was a part in this game that it just stuttered. For a moment, I thought it was my computer. I was like, oh my god, I'm scared. What's going on? Is my computer dying? Is this game killing my computer? But no, it's just that they probably use something that is called sync loads, which I'm gonna show next after I show you one or maybe two more things that I just find it to be kind of hilarious. This, I don't even know what to say. What are the developers of this game doing? I just showed you that whenever you place an object in the game, you are literally looking at it. I just showed you. Look, you are literally looking at it. Even if you use foliage, even if you use this that I just showed you earlier, you click and like you're looking at it. You're looking at it. You cannot tell me, no one can tell me that whoever placed this here did not notice that this is actually kind of like two trunks of different trees, like they're different trunk trees or something. You can't tell me they didn't see this. They either used this automatically, maybe they used PCG, I don't know. Can you just take a look at your game? Don't they internally test this? Don't they see the things that are happening here? And I don't know if you guys noticed, or I don't know if you tried the game, but there was an abundance of particles on screen like it was snowing, and it was so annoying. And then a lot of the trees had absolutely no collision, which is fine, I suppose, because I don't know if you noticed too, but I am not really supposed to be here. I'm kind of just exploring, and here I'm trying to check for culling of the foliage again. But a lot of these, oh, there we go, the culling is happening now. But you can see the others, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. The trees are fine, but like, if you're gonna cull everything, or don't cull, just use LODs. LODs are better. LODs are infinitely better. You probably just really want to cull when it'll never be rendered, right? When there's absolutely no chance that the player will see the object. Then you cull. Not like this. This is bad. This is bad game development. Let me just remind everyone that these people are paid to do their job. And I'm doing this, I'm showing you this as a hobbyist. These are the basics of Unreal Engine. If someone who's being paid to do this can't even comprehend the most basic of stuff, then what are they doing there? Like, legit, what are they doing there? Somebody please explain that to me. Moving on, let's talk about collision, because I found out that there's a lot of trees that just don't have collision. And again, let me just reiterate that I am in a location of the game that maybe I'm not really supposed to explore, but you're gonna have to tell me one thing. So I'm gonna pass through a tree that has no collision. And I hit a rock, which has collision, makes sense. And now I hit a tree that has collision. Now, hold on. How can I take this game seriously? Or how can I take these developers seriously? We're talking about maybe a multi-million-dollar company. Don't they comprehend that if you're going to place meshes or foliage that have no collision because the player is not supposed to be there to save resources, because collisions take resources from the computer. The computer has to process the collision. Okay, that's perfectly understandable. But why does this specific tree has collision? Is it because it can be gathered? I didn't go that far with the game, but maybe it's just because this is one of those trees that you can actually, cut the wood or whatever. And just before I move on, just a very small thing here. Take a look at the detail of the rock at the left and compare it with the tree. And see again what I talk about regarding the levels of detail. And how it just doesn't make sense what you're doing, because I feel like this tree has exactly the same detail that it had when we were back here in the beginning of this footage. I just feel like it does. Again, I could be wrong. It's hard to say yes or no, but I see reflections. Or maybe it's not reflections, maybe it's just something else. But I feel like I think those are reflections on the leaves. And it's just the same thing. It just doesn't make any sense. Here I was trying to tune up the contrast because I just can't see properly. The illumination is just awful. It's horrible. It's bad. This is not being tweaked. Now, regarding the collision, when you're developing, you have to make sure that what do you want the player to step on that is supposed to be solid and what is not supposed to be solid. And it just appears to me that did not have this care, they did not test things. And sorry for this being a long video, guys, but handle there, alright? I'm sorry, just this is important. This needs to be talked about because these big companies keep making these mistakes and it melts my brain because the community then understands, oh, this game was made by Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is bad. Don't blame the company. Don't blame the developers. Oh, no. They have nothing to do with the problem at all. It's the engine. Blame the engine. If it were Unity, blame Unity. If it were Godot, blame Godot. If it were Java, blame Java. Like, guys, wake up. This is just poor, bad, terrible, horrendous development. They don't care. They care about visuals because that's what you care. People care about visuals. And, okay, understandable. I also care about visuals. But, guys, please. Please. There's a limit, alright? There's a limit. If you notice, I am literally inside a rock. Yeah, that's it. I'm inside a rock. I am not supposed to go inside the rock in this matter. And this doesn't have proper collision. Like, do they not test the things that they make? This is just a static mesh like I showed you, but it has no collision like a lot of the trees that I passed through. And I'm appalled at this moment because now I'm hitting collision. And I'm kind of confused here. If this is supposed to be stepped on, it should have collision where it's supposed to be, I suppose, on the top and on the sides and below. But for some reason, I'm hitting a collision box here, but I don't hit it if I go up. Like, that doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. And people are gonna complain, oh, it's a beta. Look. I'm gonna show you right now that because it's a beta, it's not an excuse. Take a look at this. I'm gonna show you, this is what the player is going to collide with. The character that we play it. I'm gonna collide with that box over there. I'm colliding with it. I don't see it, but it's there. It's there, it makes sense. And, I mean, of course, this doesn't have any collision, right? It could have collision, but it doesn't, because the foliage, I chose to have no collision, but it can have collision. Now, I'm gonna change the tree's collision to make it, let's say, I'm just gonna add a box of collision, and I'm gonna do it in a few minutes. And, wow, it didn't take that long, right? I'm gonna remove all the collision, and now we don't see anything. That's okay, that's perfectly fine. That's meant to happen. Now take a look at this. I'm coming here, and this is really simple. And by the way, if you're a developer using Unreal Engine, this is how you add collision to static meshes. Pay attention. You come up here, and you click on the one that says Add Box Simplified Collision, or whatever you want to use. Your choice, alright? This is a tree, and I like to use box simplified collisions because I just like to do so. It's cool. I mean, I could also use a sphere, but trees aren't exactly, spherical, cylindrical. And now, this is the collision box, this green thing here we see. And we could immediately, we can say, this is too big for the tree. The player is literally going to collide with this. And that's okay, if that's what you want. But it's not okay if that's not what you want. Make this box smaller, shorter. You can stretch it up, down. It doesn't matter. So, I'm coming here, and there's something called primitives. I click on the primitives, and here it says boxes. And in the boxes, I have the only box, in this case, the only box collision that is here. Now, I'm going to reset all of these. And I'm gonna type here 100 for each, maybe 500 for up, and I'm gonna maybe, this lags a little bit, hold on a second. I don't know if that's a bug or not, but that lags. I don't know why, I don't like that. See, Unreal Engine has problems, at least in the editor. Lots of problems in the editor, guys. So let's see, I'm gonna put it 20 because I want to align this to the tree, and I actually forgot that unfortunately the origin of the tree is set to be here, so this is gonna be a little bit weird. I'm just gonna push it like this, a little bit easier. Then I adjust and pushing it up, 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 up. Okay, here I can type it, it's much more simple. Okay, we have 500, 280. Okay, alright, okay. So 250 just does it up. And this is basically what the player is going to collide. Now, of course, we can probably adjust the X and Y extent so that it can, as we can see, like the tree is a little bit outside of this. So let's just make it 150 for each side. Okay, maybe here we could adjust just a little bit. And yeah, like there's not much. I mean, there isn't like a lot that is supposed to be done here or something like that. But yeah, like this looks fine. It just looks fine. We can clearly look at this and say, okay, it's not too bad. It's not too half bad. So now I'm gonna save and I'm going to play. I'm coming here and remember that I was colliding like around here already. No, I'm not. Now this tree has a collision and of course, we can probably tweak it, and maybe it really makes sense to add a capsule collision here, for example, or a sphere collision, or something like that, because clearly we're not hitting the tree at all, we're being blocked movement. So I guess the box collision here doesn't work too well, which is fine, it's perfectly fine, we can just adjust that. But I'm just trying to show you how simple it is. This is so simple, and there's even a simpler way of doing it that the engine even offers you, but I personally do not use this down here, which is convex decomposition. You can just apply something and it's going to automatically create a collision based on, or try to create collision based on the format of the mesh. Like, I personally don't use this because, as you can see, it has a few more polygons that it should have. And for like, I think for trees, it doesn't matter. But if you have like a complex thing, maybe like a building, and you don't want to go through the struggle of having to place box collisions everywhere and etc., this is a good way of doing it, because the engine will try its best, and you can even adjust these things. I mean, it's not perfect, all right? It's not perfect. I've used this in the past, but it's definitely not perfect. But it works. Like, gets the job done. If we don't want to waste too much time with it, just use this. It just works. I don't know. It's literally like a click. Just adjust the settings maybe. But yeah, guys, like, let's just remove this. Control Z. Control Z is one of your best friends in Unreal Engine, by the way. use it very much. That's pretty much it for this part. And now let's go to the last one that I want to talk about, because I didn't really play much of the game other than just just exploring. And yeah, let's go back to the video. Also, here I just wanted to quickly show you that I was messing around with exploration again, and I found another mesh that I'm just inside the mesh. It just doesn't make any sense. And then I fall into a hole and I just cannot escape it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great. That's fantastic. And I can't get out of here. I couldn't control myself, had to explore, and yeah, like I'm stuck here. And the only way to do this is by using escape on the settings, which I actually missed it, and I ended up creating a new character instead. Oh, and by the way, if you notice here, the game is barely using my graphics card. Yeah, and my FPS are like 40, 50s, it's almost hitting 60 actually now. Wow, I didn't notice that in game. That's fantastic. It's probably because it's not loading anything at all. Up here we can clearly see that the FPS is dropped. And I mean, my GPU is what, 84, 82, 80. Like, if my graphics card was meant to be struggling, shouldn't it be like at 100%? I mean, I'm not entirely sure about this part. If someone can correct me, go on ahead. I don't mind. But I don't know. From my perspective, usually when the graphics card is really struggling to process a lot of information, it's like it's at 100% or 99%. It's like it's really struggling. Oh, I can process more than this. And the same thing goes for the CPU, but that's not really what's happening here. So I am not entirely sure what's going on. Also, in this footage, I was just paying attention to this archer here. He's just firing at nothing. And who decided that this was actually a good idea? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. This game is a joke. I know this is just a small thing, but it's just, why is he shooting at nothing? At least, they should have at least placed the soldier at an idle animation. There's nothing happening here. What is he supposed to be firing at? And here I was just experimenting the combat, and it's really awful. You can clearly see my FPS here. I don't know if my computer is not that weak. Come on. I know I don't have a beefy computer. I can run other games at high detail. No problem, no issues, and no excuse that this game is this poorly optimized, alright? And here I guess I had a taste of this, and I just respawned, which is fine. And then I found this weird looking person. I guess people are really having fun with character customization, which is great. I mean, that's not a bad thing. This is probably one of the best things that the game allows you to do, I guess. It's not that interesting, but character customization is fun to look at, I suppose. I do lol when I see these sort of characters, so thank you guys for being kind of funny. And finally we get to the point where I mentioned the stutter, and yeah, there we go, it just happened. For my belief, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I think they are using a sync block, and not a sync block, because a sync block means that whatever you have to load, it's going to it's going to pause the game, loads first, and then proceed. And this is bad. Okay, and that's a poor way of using any engine. Alright, it doesn't matter if it's Unreal or not. This isn't a stuttery fast. It's not because it's Unreal Engine that is stuttered, or because it's blocked. No, it's bad design. It's bad development. You do not use sync block unless you really have to. If, again, what they say is that, oh, it's a seamless world, no loading screens. Oh, really? Then explain this to me, brother. Explain to me then, why is the game about to load objects or whatever it has to load? Because it just freezes. And here was also the part that I was kind of scared. Oh, is it my computer? No, it's just a game. And I'm gonna show you in the game how simple. Oh my god, I think maybe I should start, maybe opening some tutorials for developers of big companies, because I feel like they don't know what they're doing. Look. I'm just going to open a random blueprint, right? It could even be this one. Whenever you want to load something at runtime, if you don't want to place a loading screen for the player, and you really need to load, then you have to do this. You type async load assets. And what this is going to do is literally going to load whatever you want it to be loaded. It could be an actor, it could be, I don't know, you can see there's a lot of things here. It could be an actor, a mesh, it could be an animation, and now I'm the one who's stuttering. Wow. And, and I just lagged. Here's another problem of the editor. You see, we saw 2 problems with this already. I said it at the beginning of the video. Unreal Engine is buggy. Yeah, it is. It is. It has. I encountered a lot of bugs. I just encountered another bug yesterday. Going back to the thing. Normally, you do not want to use this, alright? And I could be wrong here, of course, like I mentioned. Could be so many things. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying what I know. And I'm telling you that whenever at runtime, you do not use these. Do not use these. Like, this is prohibited. You do not use these at runtime. That is just... Oh, man. You're literally breaking the flow of the game. You do not do that unless explicitly necessary. But even so, like, maybe you really need to do it. But if you're gonna do it, then do it in a manner that it doesn't really stutter. Like, if you do it all at once, or if you try to load a really big asset, a really big object, like large, let's say 1 gigabyte, which is a lot, but you're not just giving it for it's just an idea. If you want to give like something with a lot of details, a lot of polygons, a lot of whatevers, doing this will cause stutters. And this is probably where the part of the people who have really beefy computers, they say, hey, you know what? Just get a better computer because that's clearly the problem. And then I say, well, excuse me, if you have a Ferrari as a CPU and a Lamborghini as a GPU, I don't. I have a Ford Fiesta for my CPU and maybe, I don't know, and a Citroen Saxo for my GPU. And let me tell you, those are not bad cars, like for an average. I don't need a Ferrari to... go from work to home to work or school or shopping or anything. I need a car, a vehicle, and I just need it to function at normal speeds. And in games, if your game doesn't even run on lower end machines, then you are doing something wrong. It's not the person, like, it's not the user's fault that the developers refuse to optimize their video games. It is not. It's 100% at the responsibility of whoever's developing any game to optimize it to multiple machines. Because let me remind some of you something really important. Not everyone has money to buy spectacular computers. Okay? If you don't know what that means, then let me explain to you. It's literally math. And I'm even going to do this in the engine for you to see. Some people just do not have enough money for everything. And I don't know if you don't care or if you do, but maybe you should care. So let's say a computer costs, I don't know, we're going to buy a computer of 5,000 euros. 5,000. But you can come up here and this is how much. Let's say you have, I don't know, you have 20k. You have a lot of money. 20k, nothing to scoff at. That's not bad. And this is the amount of money you're gonna have. You have this money and the computer costs 5,000. And let's say you buy the computer, buy the computer. I'm gonna use this here. Where's begin play? Oh, found it. All right, I'm gonna load some stuff. It is probably going to fail because the engine loves me. Okay, could be the tree. All right, hello tree. It's gonna be loaded here. Async loads, and when it is complete, it's gonna run this script. So if this successfully loads, I'm actually cheating. Had to delete it there because it's already loaded. If it's already spawned on the level. And let's see how much money you have left. Pay attention, top left corner of the screen. Now we have 15,000 in the bank account. Okay, sure, like that's still a lot of money. But let's imagine for a moment that you don't. Let's say you have 1,000. Can you spend 5,000 euros on a computer? No, you're gonna be in debt. No, you're gonna be in debt. Actually, let's do that because I want to see the result. If you do this, and let me tell you, There's something called credit card. People use credit. Now you're in debt. Now you have to pay this. You have to pay 4,000 euros. And that's not a good thing. So usually what people that have less money do is they save and then they spend. Or they just buy with whatever they have because they can save. Because they have to pay bills. They have to feed themselves. They have to feed others. And there's not enough money. Again, if it doesn't matter if you don't stutter in any game at all, and you have a seamless gameplay of 60 FPS, my friend, congratulations. I don't know if you could hear the claps, but man, whew, oh, I am so happy for you. So happy that I just don't care. Like, literally, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's your experience. I don't care. Like, literally, I don't care. If you have the best computer in the world and you can run every game seamlessly, congratulations for you. But not everyone is like that. So shut up. Literally, shut up. Don't type anything regarding it. Don't act like you're the best. Or don't complain that the problem is the user or the computer. No, the problem is the developer. Developers, hear me out. Stop using this. Do not use blocking loads. Do not stop the flow of the game. That's bad development. Please, please, please. Just do a sync. And let me tell you why you should use a sync. It's very simple. It's because it's going to use multi-threading. Kind of means like it's going to use other threads of the game. It's not really like that because that's not really how the engine works. But let's just consider it. Let's put it this way. Imagine that this is using multiple cores, okay? It's kind of a little bit different because it's using... There is something called worker threads and game threads and animation threads, if I recall correctly, in the engine. There's a lot of threads, all right? But basically, what you want to do is this so that the engine does not stop running whatever it is running and uses something else that is free to load the assets. That's why async load is so good, so important, and that's what you have to use for your seamless game, Mr. Chrono Team. Because you're clearly not using that. And I quit after this because it like I think I passed like 1 hour and a half. I was done with exploring this game. And you can still see the pop-up showing up here. This is really giving me bad Black Desert vibes because Black Desert has a lot of pop-off. I hate it. Look, rock popping off, rock, like, and again, like a lot of the other assets. They just, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a joke. This is a joke of a game. Whoever made this, they rushed it. They completely rushed. This is proof that they rushed it. It is not an excuse for the game to be in beta. Whoever is developing Chrono Odyssey is rushing it. They're pushing it forward. Oh, make the game look good. Make the game look pretty. And yeah, sure, the combat is more or less alright. Sure, yeah, the visuals are great. Okay, great. Why does that even matter when the gameplay, the rest of the gameplay is just awful? Like, come on. For instance, I don't really like this jump. I think this jump should be, we should start falling sooner. Okay, I'm just going to edit that. That's really simple. Just come here. I come to the character movement and I type gravity. And it says, oh, this is my gravity scale. This is relevant for when I am jumping and stuff like that. So I'm going to put like 3. I'm going to exaggerate 3. Now, whenever I jump, the character is going to be like, oh, I can barely jump. Oh. So you can see, it's really simple to tweak things. You cannot tell me that you don't... I mean, maybe you don't know how to do this. Sure. I mean, of course you know how to do this. You just don't care. Come on. It's right in front of you. You're not using the engine properly. Clearly. You don't care. And I totally forgot about the 3 things. Again, sorry for the long video, guys. But this is really important. People have to understand this. What I believe that happened with the double trees that you saw earlier is this. They probably, they didn't notice it. Maybe when they were placing the trees using foliage, they didn't notice that they had both selected. Maybe they were using the single instance. And it just so happened that both trees had spawned at the same time, at the same spot. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's, a bug of the engine. Maybe it could be. I don't know, but I don't know. That's just it. You have to pay attention to this, because I did this mistake recently too, and I didn't notice until I was like experimenting the game and experimenting, trying. You can literally just click here and see how the game is going. You can literally click here, just tweak, just test, debug every single thing you do. Don't let anything slip. Like, just don't. Don't. Be a good game dev. And that's it, guys. That's it for the video. Sorry for the long video. I've said this too many times. Said sorry too many times. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if I'm gonna play this game in the future. I don't see it shining anywhere. And they even mentioned something. Oh my god! I swear this game is going to be a pay-to-win game. They say that, oh no, it's not gonna be a pay-to-win. I'm never gonna have that. No, don't worry about it. Yeah, sure. I'll believe it when I see it. Alright? And that's it, guys. Take good care of yourselves and enjoy the video games you like to enjoy. Peace out.